What's poppin', everybody? So today for this video I'll be ranking every XXL Freshman class in my opinion, of course. But before I jump into the video, I just want to talk about a cool new app I just joined called Cameo. So Cameo is kind of like Snapchat and Instagram. It's basically a way for fans and kind of internet celebrities to get closer interaction, more personal interaction, even though I'm not a celebrity. So basically what it is you get a personalized video shout out from a celebrity. There isn't every single celebrity on there. It's mostly, YouTube celebrities and Twitter celebrities and, basically social media stars. But there is a few like well-known celebrities. Like there's a couple actors on there. There's a couple pro athletes on there. So, there's a lot of people on there. You can search up my name or any other celebrity, even though, like I said, I'm not a celebrity, but you can search up our name, then you put your name, and then there's like a description thing where you can tell us what to say. So basically, you can ask me to say, wish you a happy birthday. You can ask me for some YouTube tips. You can ask me for life advice. You can basically put anything you want. Then I'll just, make a video on my phone, and then I'll send it to you. And there is a small fee, so it'll ask you to put your credit card information, but I'm only charging $5 for my cameos. There's some people out there that are charging like $50 or some even charging $100. I'm just doing $5 because I don't want to hurt you guys' wallet or bank account. I wouldn't do that to you guys. So I think $5 is pretty reasonable for a personalized video shout out. So if you're interested in that, the app is called Cameo and the link will also be in the description. Alright, so for this list, I'm going to rank all 11 classes from worst to best like any regular list, so let's jump into it. Alright, so at the 11th spot and the worst class in my opinion was the 2007 class. They had Saigon, Plies, Rich Boy, Gorilla Zoe, Joel Ortiz, Lupe Fiasco, Crooked I, Papoose, and Young Dro. And aside from Lupe, Crooked I, and Papoose, this list is pretty garbage. Like, there's no rapper that stands out besides Lupe, Crooked I, and Papoose. Crooked I and Papoose didn't really remain relevant for they only remained relevant for like 2 or 3 years. They didn't quite live up to their potential. But Lupe Fiasco, he's a top 25 rapper of all time, supremely underrated. He's a great artist. I love his music. But other than those three, list is garbage. At the 10th spot, I put 2017. So 2017 had Kamaya, A Boogie, PNB Rock, Amine, Playboy Cardi, Cap G, Kyle, Ugly God, Made in Tayo, and X. Rest in peace. This list isn't bad when you look at it on paper, but besides Kyle, Amine, and X, there's really not much talent on this. Kamaya is a solid rapper, but she just doesn't make good music. A Boogie, most of his music is pretty generic. He's talented, but most of his music is generic. He has a, he has a handful of songs that I actually genuinely enjoy, but most of the songs he has, they don't really stand out to me. They're just kind of bland. PNB Rock is also talented, but he's in the same boat as A Boogie. They just make kind of bland music with not much theme or substance material. Mine, I love Amine, man. His last album or his first album, Good For You, really underrated. He's a really underrated rapper. A lot of people just view him as a regular pop rapper that sings a lot, but if you actually listen to his album, there's a lot of different themes on there, a lot of great production, a lot of versatility, and Amine is just not only one of the better rappers on this class, he's also he's probably the second most versatile behind X. Next is Playboy Cardi. He gets enough hate as it is, so I'm not gonna say anything about him. He's just, an ad-lib rapper. That's all I'm gonna say about him, Next is Cap G. No one knew who he was. I knew who he was, but not many people knew who he was going into the list, and not many people knew who he is going out of it. So where are you, Cap G? I mean, you were on this list just last year, and you might as well have just fell off the face of the earth because no one knows who you are. Next is Kyle, who I think is really underrated. He's one of my personal favorite rappers, and he's kind of in the same lane as Amine. They're just both viewed as singing pop rappers, but they are both really versatile, and they actually can spit bars when they want to, so they're both underrated, and I think they're both good rappers. Next is Ugly God. When you listen to his music, you get what you expect. He's just a funny meme rapper. Not really that good, but he makes you laugh. Made in Tayo. He's just another generic rapper. Nothing stands out about him. I got nothing against him, but he's just not that good in my opinion. And lastly, X. Most versatile artist of this generation. Not rapper. Most versatile artist of this generation. Definitely the best rapper on this list, man. He just makes all kinds of music, not just rap. He makes everything basically. So yeah, man. Besides, I'm gonna stop talking about him before I get in my feels, but besides X, Amine, and Kyle, this list is pretty bad. At the 9th spot, I got 2015. So 2015 had Fetty Wap, Dej Rari, Kid, OG Maco, Shy Glizzy, Keg Camp, Vince Staples, Tink, and Gold Link. Fetty Wap, I like Fetty Wap. I actually really like Fetty Wap. He dropped a bunch of hits back in 2015, then he just stopped making music. Where did he go? Fetty Wap, we need you back. He doesn't really need to be talked about because everyone knows Fetty Wap, man. He makes good music. Not a lyrical rapper, but he makes good music. Dej is kind of in the same lane as Fetty Wap. She had a couple of hits back in 2015, but she just kind of fell off. And they just make, they're kind of singing rappers, you know what I'm saying? And they just I don't know what happened to him, because they made good music, but they just fell off. I don't know how. Next was Rari, which he's not a bad artist, but he's just not a rapper. So I'm really confused as to why do XXL put him on here, because he's literally not a part of hip hop. He's just, at the time, he was just a rising black artist, and I think that's why they put him on here. Like, if you listen to his music, he's not hip hop at all. It's like, if I had to categorize him as one thing, I guess it'd be like folkish alternative rock. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about him. He's a good artist, but he's just not a rapper. Kid, no one knows who you are anymore. You might as well be working at Walmart, bro, because if you ask like 9 out of 10 people on the street, if you ask 10 out of 10 people on the street, they probably wouldn't even know who you are. So no disrespect, it's just a fact. Next is OG Macka, who only had one hit song, and that was because it was a meme on Vine. But other than that, he hasn't really showed us too much. He's not a bad rapper by any means, but you know, when your only hit song or your only well-known song is because of a meme, you kind of lose some points on my scale. Next is Shy Glizzy, who's not bad. He just hasn't quite caught the buzz that he needs, you know what I'm saying? He was on Crew, which is a really big song, and he had a solid guest verse on that, but other than that, he just hasn't caught enough buzz to kind of make it in rap, you know what I'm saying? He's like not underground, but he's not mainstream, you know what I'm saying? Next is Keg Camp, who's also a singing rapper. He makes some good music, you know what I'm saying? If you like singing rap, you're gonna like Keg Camp. That's all I gotta say about him. I got nothing against him. Next is Vince Staples, who is easily the best rapper on this list. Don't need to introduce him. You should all know who Vince Staples is. He's really underrated. Top 15 in the game right now. Next I saw was Tink, who is like Kid. No one knows who you are anymore. You might as well be Kid's manager at Walmart, because you just fell off. Next is Gold Link. He's the second best rapper on this list in my opinion. He's even more underrated than Vince Staples. His last album, At What Cost, was really good. That was one of my favorites of 2017. Besides Gold Link, Vince Staples, and Fetty Wap, this list is pretty garbage, honestly. Dej Love is pretty good as well. Alright, at number 8, we got 2012. So 2012 had Future, Kid Ink, Danny Brown, French Montana, Macklemore, Don Tripp, Machine Gun Kelly, Hopsin, Iggy Azalea, and Roscoe Dash. Future, you should all know who Future is by now. If you don't know who he is, I don't know why you're watching this video, because he's one of the biggest rappers in the game. Say what you want about him. He's not a good rapper, obviously, but he makes good music. That's all I'm gonna say about him. Got nothing against him. Next was Kid Ink, who was one of the most generic rappers I've ever heard, but even with that being said, I do like a handful of his songs. Next is Danny Brown, who it's really close between him and Hopsin as the best rapper from this list, which is kind of says something, because if the best rappers from 2012 in this class are Danny Brown and Hopsin, that's not good in my opinion. Like, Danny Brown is solid, but his voice just kind of annoys me. You know, if you listen to his music for too long, his voice just kind of annoys you. That's just my opinion. And then Hopsin, he has his ups and downs. He has his highs, you know. Whenever he drops an Ill Mind of Hopsin, those are usually good, but then he also has his really, really lows. He's just, he's basically just a hit or miss rapper, and a lot of times he comes off as corny, which is why he gets so much hate. But like, if you're just talking about the skill of rapping, he's easily the best rapper on this list. Also, next is French Montana, who is a bad rapper, but he does make decent music, so I got nothing against him either. Next is Macklemore. Say what you want. A lot of people hate him for some reason, but 2012, he absolutely ran that year, bro. The Heist, his album was easily the biggest rap album that year. He had a lot of hits on there, a lot of good songs on there. After that, he's kind of dwindling away right now, but you know, The Heist, that's a good album. Say what you want about him, you can't deny that The Heist was a great album. Next is Don Tripp, kind of fell off. He's not a bad rapper, but he just fell off. Next is Machine Gun Kelly, and he's kind of in a weird spot. He's just barely on the verge of breaking mainstream. Like, you know when like water is kind of like bending, but it hasn't broken yet? That's Machine Gun Kelly. Like, I don't know why he hasn't broken mainstream yet. Like, he's been in a movie, but he's just not quite there yet. He's just not quite mainstream yet. He's obviously not the best rapper in the world, but he's pretty good. Iggy Azalea, we're not going to dive into her because she's been roasted for like the past 5 years, so we're going to move on. Roscoe Dash is the last one I want to talk about. Can't even really talk about her because no one knows who she is anymore. Like, I heard, I went back and listened to all these ciphers from all these classes, or at least the ciphers that were on YouTube, and hers was garbage, so yeah, no wonder she fell off. But overall, in 2012, you know, you got Future, Danny Brown, Machine Gun Kelly's decent, Hopsin is good at times, but overall, it's just really lackluster. Just nothing. No one on here really stands out too much besides Future, but that's just because he's super popular, not because of his rap skills. Alright, at number 7, we got 2018. So 2018, you should all know, is Ski Mask, Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, Jid, Stefflon Don, Blockboy JB, YB and Namir, Wi-Fi's Funeral, and Trippie Redd. Ski Mask, really talented rapper. I like his music. He's got a great flow. Definitely deserves to be on here, and he's it's between him and Jid as the best rapper in this class. Lil Pump, say what you want, he gets a lot of hate. Obviously, he's a terrible lyricist, but I ain't even gonna lie, I like a lot of his songs, man. If I just feel like turning up and having fun, I'll put on some Lil Pump, man. Smoke Purp is just a worse version of Lil Pump, so I don't like him really. It doesn't really make sense that I like Lil Pump and not Smoke Purp because they basically make the same music, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't really know how to explain it, but I just don't like him. Next is Jid, who I think is the best rapper on here. He's a Dreamville signee, so you know he got that Isaiah stamp of approval, and he's a really talented dude. He's really versatile. He can sing, he can rap, and he's just dope. Next is Stefflon Don, who isn't bad. She's decent, but I feel like XXL put her on here just because she's female, and she would also be the first foreign rapper on here. But other than that, like, she isn't deserving to be in 2018 because she's really an average rapper. But I can just see why they put her on here, just like from a politics standpoint. Next is Blockboy JB, who is by far the most generic rapper on this list. Nothing stands out about him. Nothing against him personally, but his music just is really generic to me. Next is Y Vietnam Mir, who I actually like. I see a lot of potential in him. He's still young. I think he was 17 when he blew up, but he's probably 18 now. I see a lot of potential in him, so I think he'll be actually a really good rapper when he's like 20, 21, maybe even earlier, who knows. Next is Wi-Fi's Funeral. Haven't listened to too much of his music, but from what I have heard, he's pretty decent. The last one is Trippie Redd, who I actually love. He's one of my personal favorites in the game right now. He just has a really unique style. He can spit bars when he wants to. Doesn't do it all the time, like he hardly does it, but he can spit bars. He's mostly a singing rapper, but he makes dope music. So this is when the list starts getting hard, because 2018, it's got some really good rappers, got some bad rappers, and it's got some rappers that are just average. So this is when you actually start seeing a lot of talent on these classes. So 2018 is just right in the middle for me. So 2009 had Kid Cudi, B.O.B., Wale, Charles Hamilton, Asher Roth, Corey Guns, Blue, Mickey Fax, Ace Hood, and Currency. Kid Cudi is one of my favorite rappers of all time. He's in my personal top 10, so I gotta show this list love for that, because Cudi is dope, man. If you don't respect Cudi, you either haven't listened to enough of his music or you just hating, because Cudi is a legend. B.O.B., he fell off. He kind of became a corny rapper, but he did have a lot of good songs back in the day, man. Like his I forgot the name of the album. I think it was The Adventures of Bobby Ray or whatever. That had a lot of hit songs on there that were really good. So you know, I respect B.O.B. for that. Kind of fell off now, but he was really good back in the day. Next is Wale. He's a really underrated rapper as well. He's really talented. He just hasn't quite caught the buzz that he's wanted his whole career. Next is Charles Hamilton. Don't really know too much of him because he fell off really fast. But, you know, I've heard like maybe 1 or 2 songs from him, and he's alright. Next is Asher Roth, who only had 1 song about partying in college, which is pretty much the epitome of frat boy music. Like, it's just not my cup of tea. I don't want to hear music about white boys having parties in college, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I gotta respect it for at least having 1 hit, but he's just not good in my opinion. Next is Corey Guns, who's solid. Nothing really too crazy about him, but he's a pretty good rapper. Next is Blue, who I actually have never heard of, but a lot of people in the comments section when I made my best rapper from each XXL freshman class, they were saying that Blue should have at least been an honorable mention for 2009, so he's got to be pretty good. I just haven't heard his music, so, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Next is Mickey Fax, who fell off. I've never heard of him before actually making these videos, so that's just all you need to know about that. Ace Hood, I actually like Ace Hood. He has a couple hits on his hands. He's actually a really good rapper when he wants to be, so I like him. And lastly is Currency, who is really underrated as well. He's a really good rapper too, a really underrated rapper. He's like a guy that if you're a casual rap fan, you don't know, but if you're like a hardcore rap fan like me, you know of Currency and you respect him. But yeah, overall this list is actually pretty good. You know, Kid Cudi, B.O.B., Wale, Currency, and Ace Hood. They're all good rappers. Everyone else is either average or garbage. But you know, I respect this. This is where, like I said, this is where the list start getting good, because you got Cudi, B.O.B., Wale, Ace Hood, Currency. You got 5 rappers that are actually really good. So you know, this is when the competition starts getting really tough. All right, at number 5 we got 2014. So we got Chance the Rapper, Rich Homie Quan, Isaiah Rashad, Ty Dolla $ign, Lil Durk, Kevin Gates, Troy Ave, Vic Mensa, John Connor, Lil Bibby, Jaren Benton, and August Alsina. This list, I don't know why. I think there's 11 people on here. Let me count. There's 13 people on here for some reason when there's usually 10. I don't know why, but you know, it is what it is. Obviously, there's some big names on here that stand out. Chance the Rapper being one. Ty Dolla $ign. Kevin Gates was really big before he went to jail. Lil Bibby is big in his own right. And August Alsina is a well-known singer. I don't know why they put August Alsina on here, because he's just a singer. Like, he does sing over hip-hop beats, but he never raps, so I can kind of see why they put him on here, but he's not a rapper, you know, so it is what it is. But he's a good artist, just not a rapper. There's a lot of good rappers on there that are actually underrated too, you know. You got Isaiah Rashad, Vic Mensa, John Connor, Jaron Benton, they're all underrated. They make dope music. Vic Mensa is actually in my top 10 rappers in the game right now. Like, I love Vic Mensa. But overall, this list is actually really good. Like, there's nobody on here that's actually bad at rapping besides Rich Homie Quan and August Alsina and Ty Dolla $ign. But that's only because August Alsina and Ty Dolla $ign are, you know, singing rappers, and Rich Homie Quan just not a good rapper. But everyone else on here is a pretty good rapper. 2015 takes that 5 spot, and I think it deserves it. At number 4, we got 2016. So the roster is Lil Uzi, Yachty, Kodak, Denzel Curry, G Herbo, Dave East, Lil Dicky, Anderson .Paak, Designer, and 21 Savage. Now, just looking at this has got to be the most successful class on here. Not the best, but the most successful. Uzi, Yachty, Kodak, Designer, 21 Savage, Lil Dicky, those are all household names. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to be that big of a rap fan to know who those guys are. It's just super successful. Anderson .Paak is underrated. Dave East is underrated. G Herbo's underrated. Denzel Curry's underrated. Like, overall, man, this list is actually a lot better than I thought. Like, this actually might, in the future, this might actually move up, because looking at it now, it's actually a really stacked class, you know? Some of the rappers on here are bad at rapping, like Uzi, Yachty, and Kodak. They're bad at rapping, but they make good music, you know what I'm saying? Designer has his moments. 21 Savage is solid as well. Anderson .Paak, you know, like, overall, this might actually move up, bro. I don't know. So at number 3, we got 2011. So 2011 had Meek Mill, Big Crit, Kendrick, Sci-Hi the Prince, Lil Twist, Yellow Wolf, Fred the Godson, Mac Miller, YG, Lil B, and Diggy Simmons. So obviously, as you can tell, there's a lot of big names there. Meek Mill, Big Kid, Kendrick, Mac Miller, YG. Those are all really good rappers. They're still well known today, still pumping out music, still pumping out good music. Big Crit just released the best album of his entire career last year. Yeah, it's a lot of good rappers on here. So looking at this list, there's actually no bad rappers on here besides the Lil Twist and Diggy Simmons. I mean, I haven't actually heard of Fred the Godson's song, so I can't say if he's good or bad, but I know everyone else on this list besides him. But only having 2 bad rappers on your list, that's pretty good. So I think it's deserving of the 3rd spot. At number 2, we have 2010. So we got J. Cole, Pill, Nipsey Hussle, Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, J-Rock, Wiz Khalifa, OJ, the Juice Man, Fashawn, and Donis. So deciding between 2010 and 2011 was actually really hard for me. Like, the talent goes neck and neck, but you all know me. J. Cole's my favorite rapper of all time, so I had to give him that edge. But, you know, there's a lot of good rappers on here. You got J. Cole, Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, J-Rock, Wiz Khalifa. Nipsey Hussle's dope as well. Like, a lot of really good rappers on here. OJ the Juice Man was good for his time, but his music just sounded really outdated after a while. Pill, don't know too much about him, but from what I have heard, he's also a solid rapper. Fashawn is also underrated. Donis, don't know too much about him, but from what I have heard, he's also solid. So yeah, nobody on here is a bad rapper. So shout out to XXL, because they might not have like got everybody right in terms of being a successful rapper, but everyone on here is a good rapper, more or less. Especially J. Cole, Big Sean, J-Rock, and Wiz Khalifa. Those are huge guys now. Like, they're on this list in 2010, 2018 now, and they're still huge rappers, well-known rappers. So this list was actually really good. And at the final number 1 spot, we got 2013. This is not a surprise, because this is basically the unanimous best class of all time, just because of the sheer number of amazing rappers they have on here. Schoolboy Q, Trinidad James, not a good rapper, but I'm just reading off the names. Joey Badass, Ab-Soul, Logic, Action Bronson, Kurt Cobain, Travis Scott, Dizzy Ray, Angel Hayes, and Chief Keef. This list is stacked. Like, literally, I think at least 5 of the people on here are in the top 20 in the game right now. You got Schoolboy Q's top 20, Joey's top 20, Ab-Soul's top 20, Logic is top 20, Action Bronson, depending on who you ask, is top 20. Travis Scott is top 20. Chief Keef was top 20, but he kind of fell off. But he had one of the biggest impacts on the rap game out of anybody out of all these years. One of the biggest. Not the biggest, but one of the biggest impacts on the game. Besides Trinidad James, Kurt Cobain, and Angel Hayes, if you just took those 3 off, this list would, it's just so much talent on one class. It's crazy. Like, I doubt XXL thought that this list was going to be this good. Like, so yeah, like I said, it's the unanimous best class of all time, and that concludes my list. So I actually talked a lot longer on here. Like, I'm recording right now. I've been talking for 27 minutes about this. I thought this was going to be like a quick little 5-minute recording session, and I just kept rambling on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this extra long video. So if you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Make sure to follow my Twitter and Instagram in the description, and also download Cameo so you can get a personal video from me. And as always, this has been Azalea the Player, and I'm gone.
I used to want to rap like Jay-Z until I finally realized that Jay wasn't me. I took my time to jot down every line that's a quotable. Critics say I don't be killing this shit, but I know I do, because I used to practice early morning and then after school.